Hi, this is Bill Varney with your FishTheSurf.com, your saltwater guide surf fishing report for Thursday, February 6th. Well, fishing this week picked up again after this great weather we've had. And now, of course, we're going to have a little bit slow down over the next few days and over the weekend as the storm settles down. It doesn't look too big, and it doesn't look like it's going to have too big of an effect in Southern California on surf fishing. Well, let's start up in Santa Barbara, where Hook, Line, and Sinker is a great tackle shop to stop by on Cali Real at Upper State Street when you're looking for both bait and tackle and advice on surf fishing. So both Vandenberg Air Force Base and Halama made the news this week for big striper. Stripers several over 32 inches caught along those beaches. And then down at Halama, no stripers caught there, but several seen in the surf right off of the creek that comes out by the store there. So keep your eye on that. We've been waiting for them to come down south. It's been almost wide open up north. Come down south as a result of the rain. And now that we have rain, we have fresh water running offshore to make that turbid water combination. We're really going to have some better striper fishing, and look for those to pick up over the next week or so. Halibut fishing has been good between Refugio and El Capitan. There's been a couple legals taken up there. And then perch fishing down in the Santa Barbara area this week really slowed down considerably. A little bit of dirty water and a bit of turnover of the water down in that area. So there were lots of fish, but they were much smaller than the ones that they had seen the week before. And then anglers reported this week, although not catching, seen some corbina along the coast right in Carpinteria, a place that we traditionally see them into the fall, at the end of the summer and into the fall. There's still some there, and I think a lot of that has to do with this warmer water and also the water temperature actually going up a little bit this week over last week. When we make our way down to Ventura, continued exceptional perch fishing down there. My gosh, probably from the pier at C Street all the way through Oxnard, there's been a lot of perch over 12 inches, dozens and dozens of them caught in the last week or so. So that's always a really good sign. And those have been caught on the honey badger baits, the motor oil color, the transmission, and the color. And then others have told me that they've used Battlestar or Lucky Craft baits have worked well from them, and then lug and bloodworm. So all of those have worked really well in the Ventura area for perch. Another thing about the Ventura area is we had a great bite this week on opaleye and buttermouth perch. I just want to remind everybody that in the wintertime when the water gets cooler, and especially on the calm days, the calmer surf days, great time to fish right near the rocks. That's where those fish live. They love mussel, of course, clams, market shrimp, so raw shrimp from the market, ghost shrimp, any of those soft baits, you're going to find a lot of bites on those different perch. So that bite's been really, really good in Ventura. Ventura's been basically really red hot. And then in the La Conchita area and at Ventura Overhead, a couple of spot fin croaker were caught there, one on grubs and another one on a Lucky Craft. So those are showing up there right now. The spot fin are showing. We'll see those spread more into the south coast also over the next month or so. And then when we make our way down to Malibu, of course we have no real report. We're super worried about the runoff from these burnt homes and so forth coming down. So that's one thing we're going to have to worry about, but we'll keep our eye on that. And of course they do have some authorities down there that are doing some water quality management. So hopefully we've got our fingers crossed that's going to clear out. But once again, that session from Leo Carrillo all the way up to Point Magoo, that whole zone in there, has had excellent surf fishing for these big perch, big barred perch, some walleye perch, and a few calico perch up there. All of that's been really good. The only thing I wanted to kind of warn people about is over the past couple days I got the report that there's some film crews up in that Point Magoo area. As a matter of fact, the other day they had all of Point Magoo completely closed off, so you couldn't fish there with the film crew. So keep that in mind when you're in that zone. You may come up against those film crews who of course cannot really film in that southern part of Malibu as most of it's closed, and of course it doesn't give them the background they would want for a commercial. When we make our way down to South Bay, it's been pretty quiet down in the South Bay. The big news down there is there was a couple of corbina caught there this week, one on the fly, another one on grubs once again. So the corbina are showing down there. They weren't big fish, but they're definitely in that area. People are seeing them. And then the barred perch in the Manhattan and Hermosa area all the way down into Torrance has remained really good. They're kind of in that 10-inch range or so. And remember, folks, you know, in that South Bay area in the winter when you're fishing, very similar to up in that Ventura area, anywhere that you have rock structure. So, you know, there's jetties up in Dockweiler. There's, of course, the Marina del Rey Harbor Jetty, King Harbor Jetty, Sapphire, the rocks at Palos Verdes at Rat Beach. All of those areas where you're fishing at sand adjacent to rock, you're going to have a really good chance at catching some of the biggest perch of the years. So if you're in that South Bay area, try to concentrate on some of those areas where you're rock structure near sand, and you're going to have some really good luck on the bigger fish. Making our way down to Orange County on fire once again. Couple of stripers near 30 inches, 25 to 30 inches, coming out of the surf into the cliffs there in Huntington Beach. Perch fishing for walleye and barred perch continues to be very good in that area. Halibut fishing has picked up. There's been a couple legals caught near the Huntington Cliffs, so that's been one of the hotter areas in Huntington Beach. And of course, the big news down there is that anglers this week are already beginning to see sand crabs in Huntington Beach. Although they're very small crabs at this point, of course, they grow quickly, they're already beginning to see them. And this is what we saw unusually so also last winter. This is what happens when the water temperature doesn't go down to 52 or 50 degrees or it gets so cold they go into hibernation. They actually kind of stay in a medium state there, and then when the water begins to warm up, which it did last week, they will come up to the surface. So I think we'll see them probably disappear again and be gone for a month and a half, and then as the water warms up, they'll come back again. But it's a good sign they're there because a lot of the perch, yellowfin croaker, and halibut, and of course corbina are feeding on them right now. Another thing down there is the yellowfin croaker bite has been awfully good. It's been good both in the morning and the evening. People have been really effectively catching them on gulp baits, for example, and then also the irons on the crocodile and Castmasters. There's been a lot of them. I haven't seen any real big ones, maybe 3-pounders at the biggest or so. Of course, those fish are going to get in that 8 to 10 pound range. But I've seen a lot of the smaller ones, but there's a huge number of those in Orange County, and that's throughout all of Orange County. That would be from the Huntington Harbor all the way down through San Clemente. And all of those spots along there have done very well on perch. The perch are much bigger right now than they were even 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, the yellowfin croaker have just been prolific in that area, I would say. And don't forget that, you know, once again, ghost shrimp and raw market shrimp work really, really well for these perch, especially the bigger perch. And those in combination with a Lucky Craft or a Battlestar, those two baits are really the ones that bring them out of the rocks and they bite. And then down in San Diego, Mission Beach and Torrey Pines have kicked out a couple of halibut in the last week or so. I think the biggest news down there in San Diego is in North San Diego County, Carlsbad, and north up to Oceanside. The perch fishing has really picked up in that area, and really this week we've seen some nice big ones, some 13 and 14 inchers, and once again we're seeing those caught on the honey badger grubs, particularly in the motor oil color, the Battlestar, Lucky Craft, the hard baits and so forth. And then halibut fishing wise, that has also picked up in that area, and the anglers are telling me the go-to bait that they've been using is a drop shot using a white MC swim bait. So that's really been the ticket down that area for halibut. And the thing is, remember, we're going to be coming up on these grunion runs in just a little bit more than a month. I really think that next week we might, excuse me, not next week, but in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, we actually may see the first run in February instead of having to wait till March. It really looks that way with warmer water and these high tides. So that will increase the bite on halibut all and up and down the California bite. So that's our surf fishing report for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, good luck at the beach.